saying they're going to remove corruption cannot remove corruption. You have mentioned yourself 100 million normally in cash. Which level of transactions are done in cash? 100 million? No. They stopped us writing checks even of 20 million. They reduced the amount of money. You cannot transfer this one on phone, you cannot transfer, but you get 100 million cash. It's one of the problems. If you go to State House, people are now speculating how much money did you get. State House is a clearing house. I remember back in the days, 79, 80, there was a young man who was quarreling. State House cannot be a place for clearing what? Businesses. Today, you walk into State House, they see a State House, everybody saying, he got money. How much? People are speculating. So how are you going to kill that corruption? There are those who are saying, it is at the speaker level, parliamentary level. In Uganda, you can transact money in millions, hundreds of millions, and the president is not aware and lets it go. Financial intelligence, when you transfer money from out, 2-3 million into your account, they're on your account. I cleared somebody's car. The money was transferred to my account. They're on my neck. What is this money for? I said, I cleared the car. Why? I said, this is a friend of mine. He sent a car. I have delivered the car. I have cleared it. So he's paying me back. I have that sort of relationship with this person. I trust me. I trust him. So I did what I could. No, they blocked my account for a while. So, is there a way that 100 million can reach MPs and we're not aware? The problem with us is that we don't remember or follow history. I'm going to dig it up and I'm going to share on some of the platforms. There are quotes which were compiled. It's contained in the Notes of Consumer to Genocide by Milton Obote. There were compilations where the president himself says he supports corruption. In the early days, he supported corruption because it helped him consolidate. So long as it consolidates, it's okay. So long as you corrupt parliament and gives you what it wants, whether it is age limit removal, term limit removal, or whatever issue extending, so long as it works for your benefit, it's okay. But that's not okay. What must work for the people of Uganda. That must be the acid test. That is the UPC test. And UPC, we can go on record, what we can present is mathematically sound and logically conclusive. We can deliver on everything that we promise. In this chaos of this election, while they had the boot on my neck, I was able to prove that I can do so. Ideas which cut through time, cut through everything, and can really deliver for the people of Uganda. What are we doing? You think these people in Changkwanzi have the answer? The person they're following copied the UPC blueprint. In Uganda, it's very common. They say somebody stood on somebody's paper. I am saying NRM stood on the UPC blueprint for the first 8 years of its existence. Now, who are you following? All these trillions, I would say, really come from. In the walk to work, it was because of those monies coming to the economy. We had hyperinflation. We've now learned how to manage inflation, but the money is still there. And despite what they did, we are still able to perform. And there, I thank all the political parties which came through. NUP, well done. UPC, well done. DP, I don't know where you are now, but anyway, well done. ANT, thank you for joining the club. So, what are we doing? I count back that thing. We are not honest about iPod. We're not honest about speaking to each other. If you come with an honest issue that let's resolve issues, the involvement of NRM largely, my opinion, and this is just my opinion, the involvement of NRM into iPod was to remove the funding which we had under the DGF. That was the main purpose. The moment that funding went, to whom it may concern. Where iPod will survive, I don't know. Sorry? No, but you see, NCF really doesn't have that level of influence on the workings. IPOD as it exists, we have the structure. I have been to the current chair of the IPOD summit. I have met twice. I have urged, let us have a summit. Let's talk about what happened in the election. Let's talk about many of these issues. We wait to see. He's been in Chankwanzi. Maybe they had a side meeting. I wait to hear. But as Jimmy Akena, if it's IPOD, Uganda, I'm there. I'm there. I'll speak honestly. They may not like what I will say, but yes, I'll say it. You're referring to the sovereignty? That's the issue which I'm raising, that we're talking about funding. Funding around political parties. I believe parties are very important as a part of the democracy. You cannot do things out of parties, and you need an organized group in order to project ideas, policies, and be able to implement. So that is the argument which I used while chairing IPOD to get the increased funding, that we need to strengthen the political parties. And the funding mechanism was political parties with representation in parliament. That was the criteria. As long as you got representation in parliament, you got funding. There was no secondary issues, which now came in this law. But if you go to the letter of the law, NRM is guilty. At the letter of the law, NRM is guilty, more guilty, okay, as guilty as maybe no, but also UPC is guilty. Shall I tell you how? I have not signed the agreement, the MOU. The current MOU, Jimmy Akena has not signed. Reason I have not signed, there were certain issues which were building up then. And I told the executive director then, I will sign in the summit. We had a summit scheduled in 2022. So I said, I will sign publicly in the summit when we have resolved these issues. I am waiting, the summit has not taken place. So my signature is not there. Secretary General's signature is there, which I witnessed, and it was all witnessed when it was signed, but my condition was, let's meet this criteria. When we have the summit, Jimmy Akena is going to sign in front of the whole nation. I'm waiting. MOU is running out, maybe next MOU, whatever happens. Yes, NTV. You see, first, where were the authorities when these were being established? Many of these things did not come up yesterday. They have been there for long. We know them. You go and get your thing. You have relationship. Many of us have accounts. You're going home, you're picking up stuff. You always have this issue where you have a relationship. They've been there for years. The same thing about a lot of construction in Uganda. Somebody has built over years, then suddenly you wake up and you say, we're destroying. At least give some notice. Let us find a win-win situation. If it is not tenable for it to remain there, don't destroy it with the stock inside. Somebody's stock they've paid for that stock. It's on credit. Kids are being thrown out of school. Now everything is being destroyed. What I'm calling for is a human face. So I said, these people are doing the right thing in the wrong place. We can agree it's in the wrong place, but they're doing the right thing. We have been promoting this issue. We must be entrepreneurs. These are the entrepreneurs. These are the very entrepreneurs you are crying about. You are now chasing them to where? Have you made a provision? Have we done preparation? So UPC's handling of matters, UPC handles such matters with a manpower development policy that when you're arriving on this date, like 2030, 2031, you must have an idea of the sort of manpower which we need and what sort of skills that manpower will need. I give a lot of respect for people who are making ends meet where they have not got the training. We say we want people to run businesses. How many people go through these bookkeeping courses? You struggle with all these things. If this is on your neck, you have to pay this tax and whatever. You have not been taught how to manage your books. But you're there every day struggling. You're paying fees. You're raising a family. That you should get a credit for doing it. End of the day, we want families to survive. We want families to grow. We want to create avenues where families can actually grow, where businesses can grow, an environment where business can grow, where farmers can be able to thrive. That is what we need. But where it has grown in the wrong place, going back to the Bible, what did Jesus say about the thorns and the good crop growing in the same place? Do you start cutting it down? You leave until harvest. Then you sort it out at harvest. So you don't destroy the harvest. This one, you're now destroying the harvest with what is wrong all at the same time. What I'm arguing here is let us balance issues. UPC, Milton Botta used to argue, UPC is like an insurance company, which whatever has gone wrong, UPC can redeem. How do we redeem? With ideas. We've lost cattle in northern Uganda. Did I capitalize on it on the negative? No. Before I started on the basis that we must first reconcile. We must forgive. Others want to flare things up. But the reality, you see, I am like somebody who, when you understand the UPC vision, you can see ahead of what is ahead. One of the issues I shared with the powers that be, you would have seen it in the form of a blue letter from Mbarara Airfield. I don't know if you saw that blue letter. Somebody was saying that, and the president wrote about Mbarara Airfield. I shared that idea. That idea was in our manifesto, but it came from a different point of view. The big point around that one is, it's like you have a vision that there are going to be planes landing in Uganda, cargo planes. How do you prepare for it? As somebody, I tested the math was okay. I shared with government, they loved it. Now they went for the side of business. But 6 years ahead, right now, as we speak now, there are planes which are out of sync in South America which are trying to get back. God has put for us like trade winds along the equator, which makes it more economical for planes to fly along across the equator. Now, if these planes land in Uganda and they're going to continue their journey, what are we putting on those planes? When they leave South America, they're mainly taking beef and fish. In Uganda, are we prepared for what we're going to put on? No. When you tell government, instead they are running, instead of trying to organize people to be able to do that, they are running for the airfield in Mbarara. That's not what I'm after. Same thing that was going to affect them. They think that Jimmy Akena, you've cornered him, you pushed him into a corner. If you remember COVID, when we would sit there waiting for news, when you hear one case here, you know, we're going to be locked again. Now, you think you're going to be exporting to China, whether you're beef from wherever. If there is disease in Lango, you are not going to export. You will not. You cannot. The fish sales, you cannot be taking fish and mistreating the Ugandans. A question I often ask, people are arrested with illegal nets. I don't support illegal nets. But most of those illegal nets are imported. The person who's found with a net did not import that net. Did not import that net. Those are the ones who are beaten off the boats, hammered. You hear this one died left, right, and center. But have you seen or heard anybody who has been arrested for importing an illegal net? If there's one, tell me. These illegal nets, have you seen them arrested, imported? Somebody is paying taxes or somebody bribing URA somewhere. Then at the end of the day, Ugandan person who's trying to feed his family is the one who ends up in the lake. not able to swim. So who are you doing it for? Because this one is giving you money or the Ugandan? I am for the Ugandan. So as UPC, ours is always for the people. People's properties at the side of the road. So I got caught in that mix-up, and a lot was going through my mind. Either I've missed something going on, or I've missed some communication, but it was not very clear to me how the deadline was communicated to those who may be doing the right thing in the wrong place. We can appreciate and understand that certain areas are supposed to be for certain things, but when somebody is doing the right thing in the wrong place, how do you remove them? Because when you do wrong actions to do something which you think is right, I think that is making it worse. You're finding families are surviving off this. Ugandan children are being raised, school fees are being paid, lives are being saved. But the way we are destroying these things, unless I missed something, I didn't see any deadlines like when we're told our SIM cards are going to expire on this particular day. But I found this destruction of property. It's as if we don't understand what people are going through. Many of those people are going through loans. What sort of loans? Interest rates. It's one of the things I wanted to push in iPod. Let us have some sanity in the interest rates which the people of Uganda are facing. We don't seem to have the concern. So as I promised, as UPC, we must speak for the people of Uganda. We appreciate that there are people who may be doing the right thing in the wrong place, but you do not remove them in the wrong way. You don't destroy all of their property. You don't destroy their livelihoods. Let's find ways where we can do right by each of us. This level of destruction just to present a side of beauty, but the level of destruction which you're creating in the society is not welcome. Let's communicate to each other. Let's do things in an organized way that works for the people of Uganda. I, for one, I am still nursing my wounds from the election. Other people are able to present what they were supposed to present, their hopes, aspirations for Uganda. UPC, we did not present. But UPC's program has always been for the people of Uganda. And if at the end of the day the people of Uganda are not benefiting, then for whom are we doing it? It may look good, but for whom? How are these people going to survive? And this is something which, like I mentioned, I want to do it in iPod. Let's have sanity. In the last and previous round of elections, when Dr. Kizza Besigye started the walk to work, the reasons why he started that walk to work I felt were relevant, because he had a situation whereby resources of the government of Uganda were expended at such a rate that the inflation went uncontrollable. We are now coming out of this election. Expenditure of one political entity up to the village level, was it 630,000 per village? Where did this money come from? Not from the same taxpayers who you are now chasing from the side of the road. They are paying taxes. There are people who call themselves taxpayers, the biggest taxpayers. No, they're the biggest tax collectors. They collect on behalf of the government. The taxpayers are the end user, the wananchi, the people who use it, the people who are doing everything to survive. They pay those taxes. That money is now swindled, used to bribe Ugandans again for the same election results, which we're supposed to accept. I'm not ready to accept some of the nonsense which took place. And I'm ready to put it on record. One of the reasons is they have condemned UPC, they've condemned Obote for years, for donkey years. Even in Chankwanzi, the president is saying, Obote rigged the election. He went back, he talked about 61, 62. 61, 62 defeats the recent arguments of Semuju, where he was arguing that how is it that in this Kampala Wakiso you have millions of voters, and in Karamoja somebody has a very small issue, but also there's a question of size. But the argument was UPC would not have won the election in 61, 62. You look at the figures, UPC won clean, 61, 62. You come to 1980, same thing. And the president still had to say, UPC rigged. And this one, I want to put it clearly on record, and I want people to, if those who want to research, go and do your research. The only political party which came with a clear manifesto in 1980 was UPC. I challenge Uganda today, from Yoweri Museveni, give me the UPM manifesto. We look at it. What had you promised the people of Uganda? And our friends in the Democratic Party who kept on saying, we won the election, won the election. You won an election where you didn't even have a plan for the people of Uganda. There's no plan. People want to blame Obote for what took place. Obote was effectively locked out of the politics of Uganda from December of 1978. He did not set foot in Uganda until May of 1980. How do you head an army, control an army by remote? This is the days of analog. Not today where you're able to communicate the real time and issue. Analog. Those days we still even had those winding phones where you have to first charge it. And you expect Obote is micromanaging and Obote is looking about what he's going to do to some villager somewhere. Obote spent that time when he was locked out of Uganda coming with a plan for the people of Uganda. And he presented that plan in the 1980 campaigns. That was the plan which was adopted. I saw people looking for jobs in Chankwanzi. There's one who talked about romanticism of what is taking place. Gave a brilliant speech. But the romanticism comes back to the question the point which I've raised here. UPC came with a program called Recovery Program. Revised it in 1983, revised Recovery Program. Was supposed to be revised again in 1985. UPC was overthrown. NRM came, no plan. They started with barter trade. No plan. And let anybody quote me on this one. No plan, they started with barter trade. When barter trade failed, they took the UPC plan. They named it Rehabilitation and Development Plan. They used that plan up to 1993. Now what is this thing that people are saying that they came with this idea or the economic issue? You look at the first budget speech, read now by DP, Professor Mulema. They criticized UPC for having the advanced thought of a market mechanism in the economy. They criticized it, they went and fixed it. Second budget speech, now NRM proper, Crispus Chionga. The only NRM was elected in 1980. He went and repeated the same thing. Now what issue is it that these people of Chankwanzi are following? Please, somebody help me understand this one. I am saying that NRM, Yoweri Museveni, took the UPC plan because they had no plan. Now, guys in NRM are saying that let's go and follow this issue. These are the basis on which the development of Uganda took place. But the development of Uganda which took place, I can prove it beyond any disputable fact. It was a UPC plan. So am I supposed to be some of those queuing up and say, oh, I want a job? A job where? To follow you where? I'm quite clearly saying you don't know where you're going. You should be wearing a thing saying, I'm lost. Don't follow me. That's as far as NRM is concerned. And as far as Uganda is concerned, I should be on record. Uganda can really succeed. Uganda has a potential to succeed. It was demonstrated. The level of success, the level of achievement. We are now treated to some sideshow, a farce of an election which was supposed to accept. Not UPC, not Akena. Mine is for the people of Uganda. What I witnessed today is totally wrong. How are we going to sort out these issues? I pray that we really come back to the feeling and understand that we must be working for the people of Uganda. And for me, if that is not done, we have done nothing. We've achieved nothing. One of my quarrels with the president has been following the walk to work. When I did my right to work, I did right to work basically for 8 months. I was speaking to the guys who ride the borders. Whenever it rains, you're huddled up in a petrol station, we're discussing. I was finding out what they were going through. And you see the levels of struggle. But you see somebody who wakes up every day with hope. He's raising a family. There are people depending on him. When I got engaged, I struggled and I worked with Postbank to get a fair rate for my people. We were able to give bikes at 28%, which was a good rate, and it's still even a good rate today, using a government bank, helping the people. I got fought by an NRM stalwart coming out of COVID, and they're saying, don't pay. Now you ask yourself, is this one government? One side government is saying that we are trying to help the people. A minister in the same government is saying, don't pay. Every debt has to be paid. Every debt has to be paid. Those of us who are Christian, coming from Easter, and this is also something I must touch on. Easter